Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Psycho, and I'm gonna be reviewing Season 6, Episode 6 of The Walking Dead called Always Accountable. First off, I want to say that this episode got right into it when it comes to the action. Like, the first scene of the whole episode started off with Abraham, Sasha, and Darryl getting ambushed by who could be the saviors. That's what I would say they are. That's what I think they are. But I just want to say that this was a crazy scene. I had already seen it in the previews. I noticed one thing that it didn't show. At the end of the preview, it showed the vehicle driving down the road, and then it cut off. And so after that, on this episode, you could see Darryl just cutting into the woods, which I noticed somebody else mentioned, why didn't he just go into the woods since he had a motorcycle? Which he did do that, it just didn't show it in the previews. Of course, then we got Darryl. He sort of messed up his arm pretty bad, and he wrecks his motorcycle. Not really wrecks it, but just falls off of it, basically. And then he sees that zombie with the helmet on that's like charcoaled up and everything. And then those people capture him and knock him out. And before this, we saw that scene in the trailer of him aiming the gun at Darryl. And a lot of people are thinking that this is Dwight. And now, after I've seen the end of this episode, I'm thinking it's going to be him. Because he steals Darryl's crossbow. Not to mention his motorcycle. Anybody that steals Darryl's motorcycle and crossbow just deserves to get some extreme payback. I mean, you don't do that, bro. Next off, I want to discuss Sasha and Abraham's relationship in this episode. There was a lot of talk about Abraham and his views and the way he's been acting lately. Of course, Abraham has always been going out on a limb to kill zombies, like that one that was way in front of him walking down there. And she's like, you don't want to leave breadcrumbs, Abraham. And of course, Abraham's not really thinking because he just wants to go crazy on him and just kill the walkers. Then we got some one-on-one time with Abraham and Sasha, and then we had the walker in behind the glass, which I thought that was very cool, just to have a zombie right there in front of you, and you can't really do anything about it. But, you know, Abraham could have probably broken the glass and killed him, but Sasha didn't want him to do that, because it would be bad for Abraham and just contribute to his path he's going along. Just the idea of that walker just watching their every move, just thinking about eating them the whole time and having it right in front of them was pretty crazy. Next, I want to talk about good guy Darryl. Of course, Darryl finally gets his chance to get away, and he sees that he has taken the insulin from the bag. And, you know, good guy Darryl kicks in, and he can't have that sort of accountability on him. And that was a metaphor, I thought. Well, you know, the episode's called Always Accountable, and Darryl didn't want to be accountable for that girl dying, which is why he took the insulin back. And that's crazy because I really just realized this as I was speaking right now, and I didn't even think about that. And also, I want to discuss how Sasha said that Abraham was always accountable for people and that he wanted to have a reason, such as all of this shit hitting the fan, so he could just go crazy. And he knew that he could probably die any minute. Like he said, there could be some Cosmic Pete guy coming up and cutting his throat as he's gargling blood out, and he just wants to live life to the fullest. But Abraham doesn't need to be putting himself in danger like that. I also want to talk about the scene where Abraham finds the cigars, the RPG rockets, and then the RPG strapped on at the guy hanging off of the bridge. And I thought that was a crazy moment. It was making me so nervous when I saw that Abraham had got on the fence hanging off the bridge, because there's that factor of the zombie eating him because Abraham's not really mentally sound completely right now. And then there's the factor of Abraham just falling off of that thing, or it collapsing and falling off of the bridge. And I thought it was cool where he finally realized that he was putting himself in danger too much and that he needed to strive to live instead of taking too many risks. So he takes back, relaxes, gets his cigar out, and watches as the zombie falls off, and the RPG is there for him. He didn't really have to do any work. And I thought that was awesome when he brought all the RPG stuff back and the cigars. And then he tried to make some boss moves on Sasha. I was thinking, whoa, Rosita might not like that. You know, we might see a little 1v1 action with Sasha and Rosita, maybe? Maybe? I don't know. I thought that was really interesting because he was like, I can tell, and Sasha, you know, she's trying to play it off, but you can tell that Sasha's sort of into him as well. I just really enjoyed seeing Darryl doing his lone wolf thing out in the woods, you know, surviving on his own. At first I thought those people were thinking that Darryl was one of the wolves, but I don't think they're thinking that's who he is. I think they think he's one of the saviors. Now, if that group is in fact the saviors, then we haven't really seen many of their faces. I like how they showed the camera aiming at like the bottom of them to keep them a little mysterious. I've seen that used in many shows and movies, and I've always thought it was very interesting when it happens because it keeps sort of a mysterious aura around who that person is, and it makes you wonder. And sometimes when they aim at the ground like that, it's sort of showing that this character is one of the big bosses or, major players, and that you need to watch out for him. So I think that is going to be very interesting, and I want to see a lot more from the Saviors. If this is the Saviors, if it is, this could be just some other group that they decided to add in. Just to mention another thing, I love the scene where Darryl is trying to save those people. He goes back into good guy mode and gives him the gun, which ended up being the wrong move, but he tried to do the right thing. And when he goes to save those people, he's trying to distract the Savior into the path of a zombie to get him bitten. So he shakes the bush, and he walks right in front of the zombie, and the zombie bites him. And I thought, dang, Darryl, nice strategy. Then he's like screaming, take it off, I need you to do it right now. And I was like, holy crap, this guy does not wait around. He does what he needs to do to live. So the other guy comes up, chops his arm off, and then he's like, it's alright, just walk it off, you'll be fine. And I'm like, wow, these people must be around some effed up stuff to say cutting your arm off, you'll be fine, it's all good. I may be making inferences here, but just to consider the idea that these people were so ready to chop his arm off and were so for it already. Just the idea that points to the reason that these people could be hardened soldiers, hardened people like Rick or Darryl that are willing to do things like this to live. So you think if this guy cuts his own arm off to live, what is he going to do to prevent someone else around him from hurting him? Or just keeping the threats away from them, such as Rick and Darryl, which they aren't really threats unless you mess with them. And the idea that these people could be bad people. I'm about to wrap this up, but I just want to talk about the scene where the group with Darryl, that group, they go up to this house and they find out that their friends have been burnt. And the girl goes up to them and the zombies end up eating her and she dies. After that, Darryl asks them the 3 questions. And you get a reasonable answer from this guy. So Darryl's thinking, okay, these guys could fit in at Alexandria pretty well. There's people like him that haven't really killed anybody. As he's rolling his motorcycle in front of him, the guy takes out his pistol that Darryl let him have back and aims it at him and asks for his crossbow. And then I see him getting on his motorcycle and I'm thinking, did you really just do that to Darryl Dixon? You are gonna get some payback for this, whether it's soon or later, it's going to happen. You don't freaking mess with Darryl Dixon. You don't steal his freaking iconic crossbow and his iconic motorcycle. This guy's gonna get some payback. He will. This will happen. Darryl will get his crossbow back. It's gonna happen. I just couldn't believe that they did that. It's just these cheap people. It's like a Father Gabriel type move. Also want to mention how Darryl got that truck, and of course he pulls up with Sasha and Abraham and they get in the vehicle. They're driving off as the episode is ending, and then you hear someone on the walkie-talkie saying help. Now at first I thought this could be Rick, and then I'm thinking, no, wait, Rick is not in trouble. And then it dawns on me. This is Glenn, guys. This is Glenn, I swear. This is going to be Glenn. This is my predictions. I'm just going to end it right here. This is my prediction that it is going to be Glenn. As always, guys, I really appreciate you all watching this review. It honestly means a lot. And let me know what you thought about the episode in the comments below. Please hit me with a like as well, because that always helps me out a lot and lets me know that you are enjoying these reviews, because I have a lot of fun making them myself, because I get to discuss with other fans in the comments, and I sometimes adopt other ideas from other people, and it's cool to have people enlighten me on their ideas and predictions. I really appreciate you all watching once again. Peace out.